Hey, everybody, this is Mr. Fox with Custom Comic Strips and Mr. Fox Books, and I am here again today with another awesome episode of Client Work. I do apologize. I know on the schedule, and I gotta keep up on this, guys. And I truly am. Let me apologize for two things. First, let me apologize for getting started an hour late today, and let me apologize for saying I would be on our schedule yesterday. What ended up happening is here's the deal, guys. I'm a workaholic, and I by the time I get up in the morning, get through all the work I got to get through, and then lay down and actually pass out, I probably only average about 4 to 5 hours a night on sleep. And you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty good. Well, yeah, I'm 34 now. I'm getting up there in age, and the older I get, seems like the more sleep I need. So, my body just basically said it's time to take a break. You need to stop. So I was pretty much laid up most of the day yesterday and just relaxing and passed out most of the day. So, with that being said, we're going to kick off today. We're going to work on the 9-page ebook. There's a link in the descriptions below to Christopher Kern's website, so that way when this is done, you guys can download a free copy. But anyway, just want to kick it off here. We're going to be working on this today and throughout the weekend. The comic book, we'll be getting back on the comic book on Monday. I may even do a little bit of the comic book work later on this evening. We'll see. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going here. And, yeah, I hope you enjoy. So, let's see, where did we leave off here? Character group is done. Okay, so we did groups, couch group. Couch is done. Okay, so what basically I see where we're going here. So, it looks like we've got different groups set up to stay organized. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a tree group here. Let's see. Let's make this tree group, and we want the ink and the color to go into this group. So you just drag it until it highlights all the way around the box here. And it looks like everything else will have their own, be under their own group. So let's just focus on this. So we don't need the ink layer. We don't need to focus on that. The tree color is there. I did notice that the base of the tree needs colored. So what we'll do is just make a new layer. So just click here, hit new, and just drag it down. I want it underneath the tree color layer. So let's just make this tree base color, and I should know what that is. Sorry about that. I had a text message, had to take care of it. Do apologize. Anyway. Alright, so let's pick out some good colors for the tree bark. I gotta get online and take a quick look here, because I'm pretty sure pine tree bark is kind of like a grayish. Not all pine trees are like this, but let me just Google. Let me get on Google or Bing here and look at some images of pine tree bark, because I think it's kind of a grayish brown. It's like, hold on, let me look. Google pine tree bark. Images. Well, no, I guess it's somewhat brown. I mean, some of it looks a little gray, a grayish light brown is what it looks like here. So, yeah, I mean, it's got some bit of a gray color. Really definitive bark lines, which we have there going on. We may add a little bit. So we've got white, white like a well they say it's white, but you got like reddish brown all the way to like a light gray. So I think what we'll do is, and it looks like looks like the center of the bark. So the lines are more of a dark, really dark gray, and then as it goes into the center, it's kind of a reddish brown. So from what I'm seeing, at least the one I like that I'm seeing here that I'm going to use. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to pick out something in a reddish brown. It's going to be like a light, almost like a kind of orangish brown, kind of. You're going to, let's see. Yeah, we can go a little bit more red, like that, something like that. Let's take it into a bit of the gray over here a little bit, just because I want the gray and the reddish brown to blend better. And let's do something in that arena there. And let's make sure we got the right brush that we want. And that brush would be Color Magic Wash New. Alright, so we're going to start off with a brown, and then we're going to kind of do some light streaks like that. And actually, that looks pretty good. That was really quick and easy. Let's see here. Let's get a lot of this erased. One second. 1 second. Give me a second. Here, I'll work and kind of. I forgot to announce on our Facebook page here that we're going live. Tend to forget every once in a while, but I try not to. I try not to put too much of that stuff up on Facebook. I don't want to irritate any of my friends and family. I know some of you are probably like, well, they shouldn't be irritated. They should want to support what you do, and that's kind of that's that's not a bad way of thinking, but some people really aren't into like watching YouTube, or they're not really into watching Twitch. So I don't want to keep throwing it at them. Every once in a while I'll put a post up saying, hey, we're going live, just so that way if somebody's got nothing going on and they want to hop in, or they want to just watch and not log in, they can do that. But I want people to know. So let me put this post up real quick. We'll just hit share. Posts. I shared it, but I don't know. I don't know, people. I just don't know. What's going on here? No. man, I tell you what, these smartphones, I love them, but on the flip side is they're, oh man, they drive me absolutely bonkers. Dang it. They should make it easy. I should be able to just, I thought I was able to just like push and hold on the screen here so I could copy and paste, but apparently it's not letting me copy and paste. I say, Anyway, I forgot to ask, how's your days going so far? How are you guys doing today? My day's going pretty good. Anyway, alright. So yeah. Anyway, back to work here. Focus. All right. So got that taken care of. Oops. That shouldn't be. Let's switch the color. Let's make it a little darker, I think. What was I gonna say? Come on, guys, help me. What was I gonna say? Nah, I'm teasing. You don't know what I'm gonna say. You're not in my head. Yeah, I really, truly hope that you guys are having a great day. I know, well, first off, it's Friday, right? Most of you are really, really like, yeah, it's Friday, time to relax, have fun, it's the weekend. I get it. Totally get it. It's cool. You're having an awesome day. I hope so. I hope everybody's having an awesome day out there. I hope everybody's enjoying the nice weather. If you've got nice weather. It's nice weather here for now. It was supposed to look like it was going to rain, but I don't think it is. I do have to let you guys know, the minute I hear thunder, I got to shut things down. I've got this equipment I've got running right now is pretty pricey, and I don't want to get zapped, to be honest with you. I have had bad luck with lightning and equipment in the past, and I just don't want to risk anything. So if I hear thunder, I'm gonna have to shut it down, and then when it passes over, I'll kick it back off again. Let's see. Ornament, color. Alright, let's get some color in these ornaments here. What color should I make these ornaments, guys? Red? Blues? Purples? Greens? What color? Maybe I'll just do red. We'll just stick with red. How about that? So let's do kind of that color red. And we're going to get a little orange in there. And you're probably wondering why the orange. Well, to be honest with you, it's because we're going to have the light from the fire in the fireplace is going to be glowing on these ornaments here. So we want to make sure that when we lay down the color here, we have it so that way it's... Now, the ones in the back here, you're not going to have it. So just these ones here. And we may have a slight reflection on, like, say, this guy here. Not on this guy. I think he's too far around the tree. So I think these guys back here are going to have... They're going to be, solid red. I might kind of just not push down so hard so we get this really cool... oops, I did that on the wrong layer there, guys. So will kind of not push down as hard, so we get a little bit of the orange in there. We want somewhat of a variation in color. You know, I could do a solid red, but it's just not going to look... I don't think it'll look cool. So in the center is going to be a slight orange, and it's going to go red to the outside. And it's going to give this ornament a really cool effect of like a shiny ornament kind of deal, right? So let's back this off a little bit here and kind of... No, didn't look right. No. See, it's tricky. It's not an easy thing to do, so that's not too bad. There we go. This one here as well. Now, this one's got a light, Christmas light by it, so we might brighten it up a little bit right here, right by the light, to help with the glow. You know, that one has kind of lights right here, but I'm not too worried about that, and same with that one. Let's see. Okay, this one's next. We're gonna do a slider. Oh my. We're gonna do a slight change in color there, and then for this one we're gonna do the same, except it's gonna be a lot brighter, and we're kind of... There we go. I'm gonna do the same with this one. And we're going to do the same down here with this one here. And the way I've got this brush, now these brushes I purchased. I do have a book. You can buy this book, I believe, on Amazon still. I think it's still in print. It's called Photoshop Brush Directory. It has a list of 4,000 Photoshop brushes you can make. And the author is Susanna Hall. So it's S-U-S-A-N-N-A-H Hall. H-A-L-L. So if you look up the book, you should be able to find it on Amazon, or you may be able to find it just on the internet, period. But it's a great book. If you're comfortable making your own brushes, or if you got the time to experiment and make the brushes, grab that book. I don't have the time. I will be making my own brushes at some point, but I ended up buying my brushes. I think I bought like every single brush this person made, and it probably cost me 20 or 30 bucks. So not bad price. And you're probably wondering, well, why'd you buy your brushes if you get... Well, like I said, again, I don't have the time right now to experiment with brushes. I just needed to... I needed the brushes that I needed, and I needed to get going, like, now. So, and I wanted to help, really, to be honest with you, I wanted to help support the guy. The brushes are amazing brushes that he's created, and, you know, I felt like the prices that he was asking for on these brushes were really fair. Really inexpensive, really fair price. The gentleman's name is Kyle T. Webster. I think his last name's Webster. Kyle T. If you Google Kyle T. or Kyle T. Photoshop brushes or Kyle T. Webster Photoshop brushes, if you Google something along those lines, you'll find his website. I will find a link. I'll find the link and get it attached down below at some point, so that way you guys have a link to it. These brushes are worth the money. If you don't feel like making your own brushes, then definitely just go buy them from this guy, because he's spent a lot of time making sure these brushes work great. He's got a large variety of watercolor to gouache to ink, pen, like if you're going to be inking, there's a lot of different inking. So if you do pen and ink, there's a lot of pencil, there's a lot of charcoal, there's just a lot of everything in his brush set. So just check it out. He's adding new brushes all the time. And also, just to let you guys know, if you buy the brush set, and let's say he adds a brush or 2 or 3 to the brush set that you already own, they send you an automated email saying, hey, we've just updated the brush set, just download it. So you get free updates, which is awesome. You're not having to worry about paying for, oh man, he released new brushes and now I have to pay extra to get those new brushes. Nope, just go in and download. That was another seller for me. Was that I got the updated brushes for free. So, and he updates quite often, to be honest with you. So go check the brushes out. Well worth the money. If not, like I said, check out the book. I'll see if I can find a link for that book to Amazon or wherever you guys want to buy it. I'll find at least the Amazon link, and then if you guys don't want to buy from Amazon, you can always buy from some other book website or book company or whatever. So I'll work on getting those links put in the description below, so that way you guys got a place to go look at this stuff. Anyway, so I'm using, I believe this is a watercolor brush that I'm using, and that's how I'm able to get the orange and the red, and to get it to blend together like that. So I've been using this brush quite often. I really like the texture. I like everything that it does. So whatever color you have up front, the harder you push, the more of that color you get. The lighter pressure you have on your Wacom or your drawing tablet is the color you'll get underneath. So keep that in mind when you're using these watercolor brushes. Also, even not just this watercolor brush, but some of the other watercolor brushes in the set, or if you make your own watercolor brush, you're gonna want two separate colors in the swatches here, or else it's not going to work as good. You may not even see any kind of color variation. And you want something, you could always say, like, you could do polar opposites if you want. So if I wanted to do like a blue and an orange, it can be done. Problem is that it doesn't blend well. You get too much of a too much of separation lines, I guess. So like this orange was so bright and you could kind of see what's going on here. It didn't blend well. Now there's a way to fix that. You can always go in Photoshop here and grab the blur tool and blur it just to help with the blending. So if I do this, see how it blends it a lot better. And you know, I may go back through and blend. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but that's one way of doing it. You of course lose some of the texture. I don't care too much the fact that there is a definitive line difference there, so it doesn't bother me any. Although it may bother some of you. So like, because if you look zoomed out, that doesn't look bad. And when I start getting the shadows and the highlights in here, you're gonna know why it doesn't bother me as much. Just helps with the overall look. And that is something you pick up with experience and experimenting and you know, just having fun. So grab these brushes, make some brushes, do an illustration, and just experiment with the brushes and see what kind of cool things you can create. And then what I would suggest doing is make a reference sheet for each one of the brushes. So take the same illustration. So for example, if I were going to do this, and I'm going to use this tree as an example. So if I were going to do this, and let's just say this tree was the only thing on the page, okay? What I would do is make what I would call a reference sheet, and I would grab a brush, do the whole tree up in the right colors, you know, for the ornaments, the you know, the tree and everything like that. I would do all the right colors, and then I would label that save file, or I would label actually in the file on a separate layer what brush I used. And that way, and then what I would do is save it as a PSD and then save it as a JPEG. And that way, what I could do is double click on the JPEG and have the JPEG up on my desktop and preview that image. So that way I could say, oh, well, I really like the way that looks, or that texture looks, but you know, I kind of like how this brush looks. So you're able to, you know, kind of differentiate. I'm sure I said that wrong. Anyway, you're able to, you know, pick out the brush you want to use on a more regular basis, and it's just there to help. It's a great way to help you guys find your style, so to speak. So let me go in here and let me get Kraken. The Kraken. You know, I should do an illustration of the Kraken. My version of a Kraken. If you guys don't know what that is, Google it. It's a mythical creature. Some of you may say it's mythical. Some of you may believe it's real. You never know. Anyway, being goofy. I got a good amount of sleep last night. I'm gonna try to get some more good quality sleep in again this weekend. I need to pay attention to that. I'm really bad at getting. I like when I was younger. I would any chance I'd get, I'd sleep. I love taking naps. I love sleeping, but I don't know. It's just kind of something. I think you know what it was, to be honest with you, when my wife and I had our first son, Gino. A lot of stuff changed in the way I think, the way I feel. A lot of emotions there happening all at once, and I distinctly remember as my wife is in the operating room, and she had to have a C-section, but anyway, when they got Gino out and put him in my arms, I don't know. It was an amazing. No, guys, I didn't cry. If you're wondering, and it's okay if you do. I mean, it's a very emotional thing watching the doctors bring this child and this living being into the world. I don't even know how to put into words how great of a feeling it is. Anyway, but when I distinctly remember that when they put Gino in my arms and said, "Here you go, Dad," like instantly with a snap of a finger, my whole mentality and my whole way of thinking changed, and I think it's kind of a remarkable feeling. And I know like parenthood's not for all of you, and I'm not trying to promote parenthood, especially the people that don't want to have kids. Don't take it as this, guys. I'm just talking about my experience and kind of reliving that, and just kind of thinking about I think where I was going is the whole well, I know where I was going. I'll just finish up real quick. Anyway, so my whole mentality changed when they just threw him in my arms. They didn't throw him, but they said, "Here you go, Dad," and then that just totally changed my way of thinking, and it was an amazing feeling being able to hold my son in my arms, and just thinking about that I brought this little being, this little person into the world, and I don't know, it's very. I don't want to get it off topic. I'm going to briefly get off topic. I don't know how parents could do some of the nasty, wrong things that they've done to kids, but anyway, so a lot changed when I was holding my son. Like instantly, my way of thinking changed, and it's like, all right, now that I'm a dad, it's like I got to lead by example. I want to make sure I raise my boys in the best way I know how, and to respect people, and just a lot of the morals and values that I was brought up with. I want it to carry over, and some of you may be like, well, you shouldn't push your morals and values on your kids and let them find it on their own, but I totally disagree with you. I think that kids need to be guided more now today than anything else. So anyway, I mean, because like ultimately when they're an adult, they'll have their own opinions and beliefs and moral values and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that in my household that they know that they need to respect my wife and I when we make a decision, and just a lot of other things. Anyway, so a lot changed. I wanted to lead by example, and my whole my whole perspective on work and life and everything else was just, it was completely altered after that. And in a great way, you know. The downside is, though, is that I became a extreme workaholic, and I don't mean that in the most extreme way. There's people out there that are more of a workaholic than I am, but I became a workaholic. And on the flip side is it's kind of weird. Like I started losing sleep a lot, and I think it had a lot. Well, it had a lot to do with some personal stuff going on. I don't want to get into that, but you know, maybe I'll tell you guys about it sometime. But yeah, I mean, it was so I get very little sleep at night. You know, my brain's going. I'm going 100 miles an hour. 100%. My brain is going like 100% all the time, and it's hard for me to shut down at night. So, you know, what ends up happening is I'll work 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks straight, 6 weeks straight, maybe only taking one day off in that time span, and then my body just kind of, it doesn't give up. It just crashes. It doesn't. I don't have any pains, or I don't have, like, you know, I'm not hurting my kidneys or anything. I hope I'm not hurting my kidneys or anything, but I'm not. I don't think I'm doing severe damage, but I know, like, my body just gets to the point where it just tells me, you need to sleep, you need to stop, you need to get your sleep, you need to rest, and then you can, you know, go back at it. So what ended up happening yesterday was I got up, took care of the boys, and you know, I thought about making a pot of coffee just to help. Really, I don't really drink caffeine a lot. I'm having coffee today just to help get me motivated and talking and more vocal. But you know, I was like, well, I just can't. I just felt like I just couldn't stay awake. I was extremely tired and drained, and so I basically, after I took care of the boys, I basically stayed in bed the whole rest of the day, and I just kind of just slept and relaxed. And I got up a little bit there in the afternoon just so that way I wasn't sleeping the whole time. I did get some sleep. I did sleep pretty much most of the day. I went to bed early, and you know, I woke up, felt a lot better when I woke up this morning. So I just kind of said, all right, it's time to get back to work. And then tonight I'll definitely crash early again, just so that way I can get some good sleep. And but anyway, yeah, so that's what happened yesterday. I do apologize. I know some of you actually watch and look forward to seeing what I'm working on every day. I know a lot of you really get inspired by what I do, and I know there are other upcoming artists that watch what I do, and they really listen and take to heart what I say as far as what to look out for and this, that, and the other. So I know you guys tune in, you look forward to my time on here, and again, I like I said, I apologize. I'm sorry that, and I should have put a notification up. And from here on out, I will be doing that. I will be notifying. I will be updating. Should say updating my schedule on here. Even if I feel drained and tired, my body just says you need to stop, I'll make sure I log in on my laptop or on one of my tablets and just update you guys and let you know that, you know, I'm taking off for the day or whatever. But I got up today. I felt great. Got a good amount of sleep. I'm hoping to get even more sleep tonight, and I'm hoping to get a good amount of sleep over the weekend, so that way next week I'm ready to get going. We've got the comic book to ink and color and finish up, the first comic book that we're working on for the client, and so we got to get moving on that a little bit quicker. It's been a very slow process for us. We've been easing into it. in all reality, to be honest with you, we really need another 2 more artists working on the comic book at some point. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but yeah, that's what's gonna need to happen. It's another artist or 2, so that way we can break things up. Brad's working on the layout, roughs, all the goodies, and I'm doing ink and color and define or refined sketches, refined line work. So I'm basically doing 3 jobs in one, and it's just catching up to me. So I need to not do that. Anyway, let's grab a light green and a dark green, because the Christmas wire is green. Don't know if you guys know that or not. So what we'll do is I'll have to zoom out because I want to make sure. Yeah, we need to do something like kind of a yellowish green, I think, kind of up in this realm here. Right. I'm going to have a definitive... Remember, like I was saying, you have to have your colors have to stand out quite a bit from each other, so that way you can do some of these highlights going on here. And you're going to want to do that a little bit. It'll help when you go to do shadows and highlight layer. If some of you aren't worried about shadow and highlight layer, all you have to do is just grab a watercolor brush and you can simulate highlights and shadows by just your pen pressure with your Wacom tablet. Now, I don't know what you guys are using. If you're using a Bamboo or Intuos, it's still going to be the same. I use a Cintiq. I've been fortunate enough to be able to get one. They are great, a great tool to have. Do you need it? No. Does it help with hand-eye coordination and simulating working on actual, like, say, a canvas, or actually does it simulate working on paper? Yes. It's hard for my brain to disconnect when I use from traditional to digital, and that's a good thing. You want that. So some people have the problem, and they talk about like what they call a parallax. I think it's called parallax, where see the screen, there's a Gorilla Glass sitting on top of a monitor. So there's a monitor inside this Cintiq here, and the amount of space between that and the top screen, I think, is probably a 1/16 of an inch or less. And some people talk about how like the point is not down touch. It's hard for them to get used to, because where they touch the pen tip doesn't seem like it's all the way down. Guys, when I'm using my Cintiq, I'm watching not just the pen tip, but I'm more focused on if you see my brush for Photoshop, it shows me where my perimeter's at for the brush, right? So I watch that. I don't watch the pen tip much. I mean, the pen tip's there to help me, but I don't use it as much, because to be honest with you, when I'm actually drawing on paper, I'm not looking at the pen tip as much either. I'm looking at where I'm laying down the lines. It's kind of hard to describe, but you know, the flip side of that is everybody draws different. Every artist draws different. They have their own way of doing things. We all kind of draw the same. We follow the same techniques to a certain extent and everything else. So we do kind of draw the same way a little bit, but not as much as you think. I mean, every artist is different. Every artist has their own style, and with that being said, it's where was I going with that? Some of you are probably like, well, you were going here with it, and then you stopped. Well, yeah, I tend to do that a lot, guys. I get sidetracked. I'm sorry. I don't. Sorry. Oh, phone's ringing. Apologize. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that conversation. No surprise on that one. Apparently I can't do as they say, chew gum and walk at the same time. Apparently I can't talk and draw very well at the same time. I mean, I'm doing all right now, but it seems like when I really am trying to say something and focus on drawing and having to put deep thought into what I'm saying, at the same time, my brain's like, overload! You're overloading me! Pay attention to what you're doing! Oh no, guys. You see what I just did? Never mind. No, I'm alright, I guess. Yeah, I'm okay. Well, no. See, look, watch. I put the string and the shadow on the same layer, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. That's just that's a minor problem. I'm not focusing on that. I could put this lighted string on its own layer, and I may at some point have to do that, just depending on what I have to do, but I'm not worried about it. Not very many people watching right now that have an account, anyway, as far as I can tell. But anybody that's watching, I know there's people out there watching right now. Anybody that's out there watching, if you want to interact, just set up a free account with Twitch. If you don't want to set up an account with Twitch, that's fine too. If you want to interact, you can always send us an email. Our email address is info at customcomicstrips.com. Feel free to let us know how we're doing. If there's a topic you want me to discuss or go over, just ask. There's no dumb question, guys. Every question's a good question. That's how we learn, by asking questions. So yeah, just ask me anything you want to know, to a certain extent, mind you. I'm not just gonna tell you anything in my personal life, but yeah, feel free to ask, either through the email or on here, and yeah, I'd love to answer any of your questions. Or if you guys want to see how I do something, maybe you're just like, how do you do that, or how do you do this? If you want a quick little tutorial, let me know. I'd be more than happy to show you guys how some of this stuff is done. I mean, it's really not. It's not as hard as you think it may be. It is a little tricky. You got to be a little careful with some things, but I mean, it's digital, guys. It's not. We're not working on a. It's not like you guys are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say it. It's not rocket science. Some of you it is. I mean, some of you just don't understand what I'm doing, and that's fine. You just want to learn anyway, and that's cool. But yeah, just ask. Ask me anything. Alrighty. Hopefully we'll get this page knocked out and move on to the second page. All these pages have been inked, so basically it's just me going in and do color. If you guys wanted to check back, I'll be working on the comic book. I may start working on that again this weekend. I may not. I got a couple projects I really gotta get ahead of before I get back on the comic book. I did let the client know. Jason was very understanding, and I really do appreciate him understanding. Because a lot of what we do, a lot of what we're working on now benefits everybody. When I mean everybody, I mean all of our clients. So I have to make sure that stuff's getting taken care of. And yeah, I mean, I do have freelance artists. They're great artists. They're just not at the level they need to be at to be able to help me with some of this stuff. So. It's not that I don't trust them. It's not that it's not that I don't think they're capable of doing it. They're just not at the level of understanding of what needs to be done or what the process or how the process needs to work. So, and they'll get there. They'll get there at some point. So no biggie. But with that being said, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. No pun intended, but. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to figure out just how I'm going to be able to manage these projects by myself. So, and basically that's what it ends up boiling down to, is me managing these projects by myself for now anyway. At some point, the freelance artists the new freelance artists that have been brought on, will be given that responsibility. I know that I've discussed with Brad the possibility of him running the custom comic book department. I would love for him to take the role of that and be in charge of all the projects that come in and the artists that are working on those projects. So he's working his way up to that, and I really do hope that he sticks around and really works hard to get to that point where he can manage other artists and projects at the same time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress, and I know he can handle the stress, but I don't know if he can handle that kind of workload yet. And like I said, we're working on getting him and any of the other artists there and capable of doing that kind of stuff. Guys, it's about, so what we're doing here with custom comic strips is it's not about us, or it's not all about this artist doing this or this artist doing that. Guys, it to be honest with you, it's all about what the client wants to see, and it's about doing some fun, exciting art and getting our names out there, and putting the business first, because the clients are here to see what custom comic strips can do for them, right? And the artists, they want the artists get the cool thing about working for custom comic strips as an artist. You guys get 50% of the job. So if it's a big job like say a comic book, guys, if you're doing half the work, you're getting 50% of the job. And I can tell you right now, 50% of this job is a good chunk of change. I'm not going to get into details on prices and stuff like that. If you want to quote, if you're a client and you got a comic book and you want us to work on the art for your comic book, say you're a writer, and you're not good at creating art and you want us to create the art for your comic book, we'd love to do it. Love to do it. Give us a call. Let us know. Same goes for a personalized comic strip. You got something coming up like a birthday, anniversary, wedding favors, anything like that, hit us up. We'll be more than happy to create something fun for your event. Anyway, so yeah, we're all about being creative and having fun, and I'm getting the artists there to the point where they'll be able to help carry the load, so to speak. And you guys are probably wondering, well, you work from home. Yes, guys, I do work from home. There's nothing wrong with that. I have my own home office. We would love to have office space, but it's not needed. We really don't need it. It would be great, so that way we're all working together in one space. If that's the case, I don't need office space. I got a home office with a drawing station, another workstation, plus my main workstation, and I have another. I could set up another 1 to 2 more workstations somewhere in this basement. So it's not like we're itching to get an office space. It would be cool. Don't get me wrong. It'd be cool to have some of you guys walk in and visit us, and be able to give you guys a tour and let you guys see what we have going on, because a lot of that can be fun. But that's down the road. That's whatever. If we decide to go that route. It's we're busy. We're extremely busy. I'm extremely busy. I I rarely leave the house, and I'm okay with that, guys. I'm more of a homebody anyway. I'm not the type of person that feels like he has to be out and about doing something, because I'm already doing something. I'm already working. So that kind of I think that kind of helps with the urge of wanting to be out and about and not wasting time, or wasting my day. But yep, I work from home, and this is we've got so many projects. I know off the top of my head, we've got anywhere from well, we've got 3 big client projects, and the rest are internal. And what I mean by internal is we got to do a website facelift, not a rebuild, guys, just a facelift. I'm not a web designer. I never went to school for web design, and I threw something together on our website that I thought would get us by, and come to find out it actually, well, let's just say it's so bad that people have stopped coming to our, well, not stopped. We still get a lot of people coming to our website, but we don't get a lot of people asking for a quote anymore. And so what I need to do is take down the new website, put up the old one temporarily, or maybe just fix the new one. But it just needs a facelift. It's functional. It's not. It has nothing to do with functionality. I think our website is perfectly fine. Now, there may be some web designers out there that say, well, no, you should be doing this and should be doing that, and that's fine. I mean, if you guys want to help us, feel free to get a hold of us. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But you know, like I said, I'm not a web designer. So, and to be honest with you, I would love to find an artist that is an illustrator as well, and a web designer, so that way they can be working on client work, and then they can do a lot of the internal stuff to the website that needs to be done, and that way we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone kind of deal. I know that sounds kind of somebody's probably like, well, that sounds like you're cheap. Well, no, I'm not cheap. I just want somebody internal, so that way I don't have to call up a company all the time and say, hey, I need to change this picture, I need to change that, how much is it going to cost me? If you want to say that that's me being cheap, then you're entitled to that. But to be honest with you, until you run your own business and you're dealing with this stuff on your own, you have no idea. And I think, to be honest with you, like I'm all about making sure the artists are compensated for their time. But my experience with people that build websites, and I don't mean this to be negative to the people that are really good. I'm just saying the people out of college or out of high school at building websites, they want to charge an hourly rate, and this is a problem I have, because to be honest with you, you guys shouldn't be charging hourly rate anymore. You guys should just say, here's a bulk price, and you know, this is what's included in this bulk price. If you want, let's say if you want tech support, or if you want that extra assistance of being able to update your website, charge a monthly fee. You know, make it like $8 a month, and just say, we'll maintain your website though for a whole year. If you pay 6 months at a time at $8 a month, then this is what we'll do for this amount of time, and this is how much it'll cost to build your website, right? I don't. Most of the people I've dealt with, they're like, well, I charge $25 an hour or $50 an hour, and blah blah blah, and this is what I do, and it's like, nah, that's okay. I don't want to deal with that, because here's the deal, guys. You're a web designer. You're an artist. You should be very passionate and love what you do. If you don't love what you do, then you shouldn't be doing it, to be honest with you. So, because what's happening, and this is my opinion. You guys may disagree, and some of you guys may kind of bash me on this, and that's fine. But my opinion is, you should charge one flat fee to build a website, and then a maintenance fee per month. You would get more clients signing up for your service than the other way around. Because let's just say this. Let's say you as an artist make a mistake. Okay? Now some of you guys will say, well, I charge this much, let's say $25 an hour. Okay? You say I charge $25 an hour, and you get into the project and you're making all these changes, and you know you're making mistakes, the client's making mistakes, and ultimately the person that's suffering the most is the client, right? You make a mistake and you're still going to charge them $25 an hour because it's your mistake. You know, and I'm not saying this for all web designers or all artists, because everybody does things different, but you know what? Just charge a flat rate. That way, if you make a mistake or if something happens and it's on you, guess what? It's on you. The client shouldn't have to pay for that. That's why when you see our website and you see what we do, we charge a flat rate. This is what you get. This is what it is. So, and you know, that's subject to change a little bit here and there too. You know, we're working on this comic book deal. Or, well, not comic book deal. We're working on this comic book for a client, a series of 4 comic books here. And, you know, if they end up landing an independent, and then, you know, we may have the chance of continuing to do the art for the comic book, even through the independent. So that's when you go into negotiations with those guys, and you say, hey, you know, what are you going to pay us, and this is what we would need, and those guys are going to want to see one flat rate. I mean, they're not going to want to deal with. Now, sometimes they may throw it out there, and they may say, well, we'll pay you per hour, and then you just you have to be a little lenient and just go that route. But usually they like to say, okay, well, what are you going to charge us bulk price per book? And, you know, we're kind of hoping that with the success of the comic books that they want us to continue to do the art for the comic books. And if they don't, that's all right, because to be honest with you, I'd be proud to say, at the very latest, I'd be proud to say that we created the art to help them get a publisher. And that's still just as good to say too. So either way, anyway. Got a lot of people bouncing in and out, jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. Why don't you guys stay and watch a little bit? I know it's kind of boring for some of you that don't do art, but man, why don't you just stay and watch? Ask me some questions if you want to know something. Be more than happy to talk to you about anything. Alright, we got that last strand cleaned up there. Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I think the lights, we're not going to do the lights yet, guys. We're going to wait. That'll be one of the last few things that we do. I said do. What are you, 5? Yeah, I can be sometimes. I do have a 4-year-old, so we tend to goof off quite a bit together. Yummy, yummy coffee. Alrighty. What next? The presents under the trees. The tree looks like that's what's next. We're almost done with this page. Alright, so let's call this presents, color, let's do one for boxes, color, and we'll do one for the tree skirt. tree skirt color. Okie dokie. Let's pick out a nice color red here. Let's go like that color, and then let's grab a darker red, something along these lines. And tree skirt, we got that. Let's bump up the brush size. So what I'm going to do with the tree skirt color here, guys, I'm going to do, the inner part's going to be red, and then it's going to have like a gold, or maybe it's either going to be a gold or green frilled edge there. I shouldn't say frilled, but a gold or green edge. And I think, to be honest with you, like, I think a gold edge would look really nice with or on the tree skirt here. So that's what we'll end up going with, is a gold edge. It'll help stand. There's a lot of greens and reds going on already, so I don't want too much stuff to blend together. I want to have a good variety of stuff going on here. So let's see. Let's get the shadow in here a little bit. You got to keep in mind that we're gonna have, we're gonna have that fireplace kind of lighting up part of the tree skirt. So we gotta think about that. Zoom in, make sure I've got all the center area. Yep, covered. So let's go ahead and grab the eraser, and we're gonna grab. We'll just grab the magic wand tool as well. That might help speed up the process a little bit. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. I got a phone call real quick, guys. Let me just mute the microphone real quick. And the back. Sorry about that. I'm sure some of you probably actually preferred not to hear me talk, but sorry. Well, you're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. I hate to say that.
Connected. Channel switched.
Hey, hey.
Holy shit.
What is up? I'm live streaming, just to give you a heads up.
Okay. Just sorting some stuff out on the forum, and you potentially building a computer for a friend. So.
Oh,
maybe
cool.
come and go.
What are you building? Are you building like AMD, or are you going Intel, or is he going Intel?
Intel NVIDIA.
Okay, cool.
1 terabyte hard disk, 6 gigabytes of RAM.
One terabyte hard drive.
That is correct.
Did he not have enough to do like a solid state? Not that he had to do solid state, but that might have been better for the operating system. Huh?
This is being done on the cheap.
Oh, on the cheap. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Sometimes you just gotta make do with what you got, right?
Yep.
That's cool. So are you making a gaming PC for him, or what? What do you make? What's he gonna be using it for? If you don't mind me asking.
Mostly, it's going to be general purpose.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be a very high-powered machine, but his family, he comes from a poor background, so this is more or less a birthday present to him.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool. He's real. Does he know you're building it, or is it going to be a surprise?
I told him that he was getting a laptop.
That's funny. So you're going to throw him off a little bit, or is it a laptop? I didn't ask.
No, it's a desktop.
It's a desktop. Okay. That's funny. So he's gonna he's gonna like be like, "Where's the laptop?" And you can be like, "It's right here. Here's your laptop, buddy." He'll like that. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a complete setup. He's getting the tower, monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers. So.
Cool.
So when he goes, "Well, where's the laptop?" I'm just going to hand him the keyboard.
Right. Oh, that's funny. You think you'll get it? Or do you think he'll be like,
Depends.
yeah. If somebody said that they were getting me a laptop for Christmas or whatever, and they said, "Here's your laptop," and put a keyboard on my lap, I think I would be a little confused, because I'd be like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" Just to be honest with you. But it would be cool, because that would be a totally big surprise that, it's just a computer in general. Right.
Desktop can put up a part.
Right. Cool. Are you going to be using any kind of CPU cooler, or are you using like just the one that comes with the
Stock.
CPU? Oh, you're using stock. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really beefy stock cooler.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a Intel i3, so low end chip, but the stock cooler is bigger than the stock cooler on my i5s.
You know, that's kind of weird because like I got an i7, right? The 47 is a 4790K, I think is what the model number is.
Not bad.
No, that's not bad. I mean, I wanted the 5820K, which is the 6 core. But I didn't want to pay for the DDR4 RAM. The motherboard would have been the same price, and the RAM is what changed my mind. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I have my stock CPU cooler that came with that i7. When I opened the box, I'm like, I was expecting it to be. Well, when I got the box, well, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger because the i7 is going to run. The i7, to be honest with you, is going to run a little bit warmer than like an i3 or an i5. And so I'm like, okay, well, I was expecting when they handed me the box for the i7 that was going to be a lot bigger because I thought it was going to have a beefier CPU cooler in it, and we opened it, and I'm like, God, that thing is dinky. So I ended up getting a Cooler Master. I paid like $30, and I got this beast of a. I think it's got like 8. I think it's got like an 8-channel pipe in it, or they call it 8-pipe, an 8-pipe cooler.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was like only $30, and it came with its own fan and stuff like that. So we put that one on there, and it's working. Man, it's amazing. So, well, as long as that i3 thing is pretty good size, then it'll be all right. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, man. I got an i7, and like the cooler was just like, I was just kind of sitting there like, really?
One of the other things, this you should never be able to really get this machine really all that hot. The case has a funnel that mounts over the processor cooling fan.
Oh, no
So it's
way.
blowing air directly from the outside of the case.
Nice. Now that is cool. What kind of case did you go with?
Fairly generic.
Oh, okay. That is cool. I've got a case like that has a funnel that pulls air from the outside. I've got it running Linux right now, but if I ever rebuild, I may use that case. Huh? Yeah, it's just Linux. I don't know much about Linux. I just got it running as a surf the internet. If you get something nasty on the computer, the best thing you can do is just reinstall Linux kind of setup, you know. Because to be honest with you, and I'm sure you've experienced this as an artist, there's a lot of times where you need to go out on the internet and find photo references, and if you're not careful, that a lot of the time that can lead to you getting something pretty nasty on your computer. You know what I'm saying? So it's, some people are probably watching and they're like, well, what kind of websites are you going to? I'm not going to any websites. I'm just doing an image search for whatever topic I need to find a reference for, and well, that's that. Did you get any more art done this week, or were you pretty busy with work stuff?
Actually, I got another piece done. I haven't uploaded at all because I'm still working through the line work on it.
Oh, that's cool, man. I'd love to see it when you get it done, man. At some point, I will be live streaming my gaming channel and switching up from this to that. I need to relax a little bit this weekend. I've been working way too hard. I wasn't even on yesterday because finally my body just said, you need to stop. You need to relax. You're working way too hard. Charles must be eating, huh?
No idea. I think he may still probably at work.
Oh, okay. So he was already logged in when you...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he may be... You may be right there. Haven't seen Jesse on in a while. Wonder how he's been doing.
I haven't heard anything from him either.
Man, I hope that's not a bad sign. I'm trying to remember the last time he was on, to be honest with you. 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
Well, hopefully he's doing all right. Wasn't he looking for a job or something? Didn't he say he was looking for a job?
Yeah.
So maybe he landed a job and he's just really busy or something. We'll have to find out how he's doing. I'd love to hear if he did any kind of creative writing. Because he said he was going to get it and just do it. I hope he got around to doing it. Maybe that's why he hasn't been on. Maybe he's been writing his story, which would be really cool.
Maybe.
That's a good thing. Great thing. Alrighty. What kind of video card you slapping in that beast?
One I had laying around, NVIDIA 560 Ti.
Oh, cool. What, 1 gigabyte? 2 gigabyte?
I think it's a 2 gigabyte model.
Oh, really? That's cool. Doesn't sound too bad of a machine.
No, it should last him for a little bit until he can get his feet under him and get going and replace it, but...
Yeah. Now, I haven't done a lot of research on the i3s. How are they at some of the processing power for like games or something that's a little bit more heavy?
It's one of those... If he goes for something really intense, the i3 will be the bottleneck.
Oh, okay.
Followed by the video card. But for most things, the i3 will do just fine.
I haven't done enough research on those i3s. I've done a little research on the i5s. I know those are... I know like a lot of people are going with i5, even for some of the beefier games, just because the i5s can handle a lot of the bottleneck issues. Not all of them, but...
Yeah, I'm running an i5 in my current machine.
Yeah.
Now, I have an old as i5. It's a 650.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 5 years old now.
And you're doing just fine with it still, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's where my bottleneck is actually not with the board itself, and if I had a full ATX board, I wouldn't be upgrading.
Huh.
But I have a micro ATX, and I've run out of slots for more expansion cards.
Oh my. I need to find me a PCI card that'll allow me to have more SATA ports on it, and I'm still trying to figure out which one to go with. I need to I got a DVD burner. I like running 2 drives. I've got a Blu-ray burner in there now that does everything, but I don't want to use that as my primary drive a whole lot because I will be burning a lot of Blu-rays, so I want it to last as long as I can. I need to find a way to... I gotta get another... I think it's a PCI card that has like extra SATA ports on it. That's what I'm looking for. Because I ran out of connections on my motherboard there. Plugging everything
that's
in.
the other thing I've run into.
That was crazy sounding. Scared the crap out of me. Phew. Okay. Oops. Dang it. Oop. Dang it. Okay, let's see.
Microphone muted.
Okay. Just mute that temporarily till I know they're busy working on something. So my. Alright, let's kind of zoom out, kind of get a good indication of where we're at and how much we got left. So we just got presents. And you guys are probably wondering why I went from the tree skirt to the stockings to the Santa. Well, I like the color red that I used for the tree skirt, so I wanted that to carry over into the stockings and the Santa. What I may redo is the stockings though, because I should have done the red and the orange for the stockings. So what I'm going to do is go into the stocking color and whoops, didn't mean to do that. What I'm going to do is go into the stocking color, select it, and delete it, and we'll redo that. Wrong button. We'll redo that here in a second. That'll be the next thing we work on right now. I want more of a red-orange in the stockings, and I should have thought about that. The dark red and the bright red worked well for the Santa up here, but now that I'm looking at the stockings here, I need to do the red and the orange. And you're probably wondering why I erased or why I went from one to the other. It's because of that. I wanted to make sure that I used that color up in the Santa instead of, like the right way. Well, there's really no right or wrong way, but the best way to do or to work on it, or to work on an illustration like this is to have a color reference sheet. And usually I have a color reference sheet going, but I decided not to do it with the children's book, just because that way I can just get in and get out, so to speak, fairly quickly with the colors. I'm pretty good at remembering or finding the colors that I've got a good eye for color, so to speak. So it's easy for me to just go in there and pick the colors again and what have you. Now for the comic book, I know like for yesterday or when I was working on the comic book, you guys probably did notice that I did make a color reference sheet as a separate layer on the on page 1 there. And basically what I thought about doing, and I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to create a whole separate file, so that way as I go through the comic book on each page and dealing with the colors, the different colors and the characters, that way I've got a color reference sheet for like each character and stuff like that, and that way that's going to help with that'll help with later on in the project. So I don't have to like keep flipping back and forth or anything like that. I could just open the color sheet, say, okay, this is what James is wearing. This is his color for his hair. This is his color for this, and this. You know, it's great for a bigger project like that. But this is a fairly, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a small project. It's still a decent sized project. 9 illustrations, still pretty good sized project. So, you know, you can, if you want to do that. I'm just choosing not to right now because it does take a little extra time to set that up and get that into your workflow. And I want to try to get through these illustrations, not like as quickly as I can, but just in a good speed and a good time, so that way I can focus more on the comic book and our ebook app that needs to. I got to get the files ready for on that. So I'm just trying to work a little bit more efficient to a certain extent on this one. Some of these backgrounds are actually going to be in later on, so I won't have to worry about, like, say this background. I won't have to worry about what I'm doing here, redoing it. All I'm going to have to do is copy and paste, and then we're going to just change the light level because the fire will have died down later on in the book. So luckily I won't have to recreate a lot of this background. Sometimes when you guys are planning out your scenes, or you're planning out what you're going to be doing for the book, think about what you can use and can repeat. I know you don't want to repeat a whole lot, and you don't want to do it all the time, but it's good to have some repeating scenes every once in a while. That way you're not spending a huge amount of time drawing something new every single time. And I know some of you may say, well, that's kind of lazy, or maybe you should do something different for each page. Well, if you're doing a story for a children's book, for example, like this one, so the story ends up coming back into the living room closer to the end. So it's there's no point in saying, well, we need a different angle, or we need to draw it this way, or do something different. I mean, some of you may, and that's fine. It's your choice. But for me, it's like, well, we're coming right back into the living room. We've already got a pre-made background. Let's use it. So that's what we're gonna use. And again, some of you may think that's kind of a lazy way of thinking, but you know, it's a very efficient way of thinking. It doesn't have to be a super elaborate. You know, I know some of you are gonna be downloading this ebook because it's gonna be a free ebook. And you may be reading it to your kids, or maybe some of you like go out and get children's books, or you've downloaded an ebook for your kids. Think about this, guys. Those books are not made for you, right? And I'm not saying our kids aren't smart, and I'm not saying that they can't comprehend, but you know, if you look at some of your children's books, like I went back through and was reading some of the children's books that I grew up with here recently, and I was looking through the illustrations and stuff, and what I distinctly remember before I opened them up, and then what I remember and what I viewed looking at them as an adult, the book looks totally different to me. And as a kid, I was a lot more excited about seeing the illustrations and seeing the pictures in the books and this, that, and the other. And as an adult, I'm just like, they're cool, but they're not as cool as I remember them. And it's just because that's just how kids' brains work. I mean, they see this stuff and it's new. All this is new to them, right? So, well, I guess what I'm getting at is, as an adult, when you're shopping for a book for a child, you got to kind of step into the role of a child. And I know it's kind of hard because a lot of us stopped being children or thinking like children long, long ago. But if you could vaguely remember what it was like reading your favorite books as a child and kind of pull that into your decision, or kind of think about that when you're reading the book to your kid, instead of nitpicking or saying, wow, this book is not very good, what you should do is ask your kid what they thought of the book and base it off their decision. Because the book is intended for kids, not for adults. Although some books are good at pulling in some messages and some stuff for adults, and that's fine too. But it's for kids, guys. So let's kind of keep that in mind when you're reviewing these books or when you're out buying books. Ask your kids what they think of them. It's easy for me. You could ask my wife. I'm always going to be a kid at heart. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever grow up. I mean, there's times where I have to act like an adult, and that's fine. Guys, I'm a big kid. I love toys. I love everything. I mean, I don't play with toys. I mean, I've got some Legos down here I like to fiddle with every once in a while, but I mean, to be honest with you, I got to a certain age, and then just everything just kind of, life just got super serious, right? So things get pushed to the side, but I never have given up on the whole I'm a kid mentality. I'll never grow up. I like being a kid, a big kid. It's fun. I mean, it's we're only on this world for so long, and to take things so seriously all the time, it's just, to me, in my eyes, and from what I've experienced and what I've learned, it's just not worth it. Just not worth the stress. It's just not worth the anger. It's not worth half of it. And I'm not going to sit here and say this is how you should think or anything like that. I'm just saying this is me, guys. This is who I am. So I'm a pretty laid back kind of guy nowadays, and I really don't let a lot of things bother me anymore, and I just don't see the need for it. I don't see that to me it's just wasting my time. And I know that sounds a little selfish, but if there's something going on with family or whatever, I'm going to take the time, or friends or anything like that. Yeah, I'm going to take my time out of my day, or a fellow artist that wants some advice, or they want me to, help them out with some stuff. I'm going to take my time, right? That's not what I'm referring to here. What I'm referring to here is a simple fact of all the BS that goes on. And I know that we're expected to think a certain way and be a certain way when we get older, and I get that it is. I guess it's it's fine, because we have to be able to manage things and be an adult about stuff and take things seriously, and you got to a certain extent you got bills, you got all this stuff, and I'm not even gonna get into like the philosophical debate on money or greed or anything like that. It's not a time or a place for any of those discussions, but it just kind of sucks, because like society makes us grow up, I think, just way too fast. And I think if you look at some of the people that live a long, happy life, if you really look at those people, you realize they're nothing but big kids at heart. Like they've grown up, but not fully grown up. They still have fun. They still laugh. They still do a lot of that stuff, and they still have that mentality of wanting to learn. And I don't know how else you'd best describe it, but we lose a lot of that as we get older, and it's kind of sad, to be honest with you, because I think we would get along a lot better as a world, as humans, if we just enjoyed life more. So I just kind of think about that, guys. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not here to change the way you think or anything like that. I'm just kind of saying, this is how I am. This is how I see things. This is what I've kind of learned over the years, and it's to me, it's just a lot less stress to think about the BS. I mean, it's just better. There's too much BS, too much stuff that's killing you quicker, if you want to think of it that way, because it really is. The more stress you have, the quicker you lose your lifespan. Anyway, where was I going with that? I have no idea. I'm on a tangent. Many tangents. Okay, we need to do something here. That beard, before we do something here, I think what we'll do for the walls, go to BG background, trims their frame, BG frames. Okay, so let's go under, let's create a new layer and let's just say wall color. There we go. Let's pick out a decent color here for the wall. I think maybe kind of like a cream, a tan, maybe something like that, maybe. Let's make this big. Not sure what to do with the color of the carpet. Let's try this again. There we go. I mean, that's not a bad color for the wall. We'll just stick with that for the wall, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. The ceiling will be white. We'll leave that white. Well, no, we'll make it, well, let's see. Yeah, we'll keep it white, but we'll have to do like white and gray because it is night in this book. And I want the shadows to kind of play off the walls and the ceiling a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say shadows. You're not going to get any shadows on the ceiling just because the angle that we have this camera set at. Well, guys, when I say camera, you're like, camera? Yeah, like what you see in this window, right? And I try to make it as simple as possible. What you see in this box where the illustration is limited to, I call a camera angle or view, right? Because in all reality, you could be seeing this scene through a movie camera, or you could be seeing this scene through a still digital SLR. I wanted to say still frame camera, but the proper term would probably be just a DSLR. So I call it the camera angle or the camera scene, and the reason why I call it that, and some of you are probably like, well, it's not a movie, and it's like, well, I kind of view how when I create a book or when I create a scene or anything like that, I look at it like I'm creating a movie. And that kind of helps. It really helps with what I want to portray. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm more of an animated type of guy, right? I love animation. I love what you can do with the animation. I love how you can tell not only can you tell a story through just a single image, but like you're telling this you're bringing to life characters that normally wouldn't be moving or anything like that, right? Anyway, I just messed up big time. I missed a spot. See, this is what makes it tough, guys. We've got to make sure that you're getting everything covered with these brushes, or else you have to start over. So with that being said, let's go ahead and redo this. Yeah, wall color. Alright, let's start here and just make sure we get all the angles. Yeah, so when I create my art, when I'm doing anything for a client or anything like that, I visualize it as I'm a director and I'm looking through a camera lens. So whenever you hear me say, the camera angle or what the camera sees, I'm referring to that. And you guys can refer to it as whatever you want, or whatever helps you guys use that terminology. But I just want you guys to know, from a reference standpoint, when I say what I say, camera angle or camera, that way you guys know. That way you're not getting confused and you're like, what's he talking about? I don't understand. What's he talking about? Sorry, I know you guys don't talk like that, but I'm getting a little goofy here. Okay, now we should have covered everything with this color on the background on the wall here. I don't think we missed a spot. I'll zoom in, make sure around there, we're good there. Check around the picture frames. We're good there, nothing there. Around the top, good there. Bottom's good. We're good. Okay, so now we just got to go in and clean it up. You know what I forgot to do? Save and save often. Number one rule. I break that rule a lot, don't I? I'm telling you guys this is what you should do, and I'm breaking the rules. Okay. What am I doing? Let's go right up into the frame here. Yeah, you guys are probably like, what are you doing? Well, I'm getting rid of the excess color that's bleeding through. You gotta do that because these watercolor brushes are see-through. So if I were to put another watercolor brush over top this tan color that I picked out here, you may or may not see it, but chances are if I go with like a light gray or some other color, it will change the color that I put over the top. So I want to make sure that I'm not interfering with that. I don't want it to alter any other colors that I'm using. Down here, I don't think you see it in the couch. No, you don't see it in the couch. That's good. I will have to get it out of the Christmas lights here because that will affect how I do my light bulb special effect. So we'll have to get that from behind there, out of there, out of these light bulbs. They got to be white, so that way it'll do what I need it to do. Let's go in with the eraser here and get rid of this tan color out. Make this tree look like it's lit up. It's got power running to it. When really it doesn't. Going to be a great optical illusion. Okay. Guys, I'm going to have to take a quick break here. That coffee is running right through me. So I'm going to have to take a little break. Take care of some business. Business. I'm going to have to take a break just to make sure I take care of business. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Yee, yee. Yo, yo. Yee, yee. I'm being silly now, sorry. I will stop. Alright, we got the wall we got it's starting to come together. I think the carpet will be next. I really want to do that next, just so to help really pull in the whole scene. I got to figure out the color I want to use for that. Oh, and the other thing is on this wall, just realize this candlestick has to be erased away from this candlestick. And yeah, see, like the light gray, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but inside that the light gray there, it was kind of more of a muddier look. I don't want that, so it's more of a dirtier look. See how it's more of a brighter grayish white there. Yeah, I don't want that brown in there. So yeah, that's one thing of having to erase some of the stuff that's going on in the background. I know, like, some of you would say, well, just use a regular brush and make sure it's, well, yeah, well, I could, but it's not gonna, just trust me. Where is his beard? Right there. Let's get the rest of his beard color cleaned up here before we keep moving forward. Realized that I was moving forward and not taking care of what I've already done, which is not good. It's not good, man. It's not good. Cleaning it up. Oh yeah, looking good. Hey. Oh yeah, candles next. Let's go back down to wall color. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna affect how this light looks. Let's see here. I was gonna say something, but I'll wait. I will wait till I take a break. Gonna take a break. Yes, I am. Oh, sorry. You guys didn't come on here to hear me sing my horrible singing. All right. Now that we got that cleaned up, I'm gonna save it, and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a little bathroom break, guys. Be right back. Save and save often. Okay. Make sure I'm still live streaming here. Can't really tell. I mean, I've got the video going on a tablet, so that way I can monitor what's going on and monitor your guys' chat. But problem with that, it's not running right. Just not running right. Nope, it's not. Alright. All these fluids running through my body. Ooh. Alright, I'll be right back.